Hey everybody, my name's Lindsay and you're listening to Spirit Junkie Podcast. Today I want to talk about the importance of self-love through everything that has been going on in this year 2020. Right now I think people are suffering from depression, loss of hope, loss of jobs, just added stress on their families, on their income, on their mental health, and everything in between. We've had so many fear bombs dropped on us since 2020 began. All the COVID, when it started, um, was one thing, and it was just on the media everywhere you looked. They were showing, they were showing people falling down dead in China, bodies all over the streets. I remember watching a video about Wuhan where it looked like they had no power and it was just somebody videotaping all of the screams that were going on in the night. And there was just this really underlining fear that this was heading to America and this was going to all over the world, not just America, but that's where I live. So that was coming to us. And I don't watch the news. I don't have cable, but I follow a lot of comedian conspiracy theorists. And so they're keeping me on the up and up of what's going on in the world and real news. Um, and I was the last person on Earth to join Twitter. I actually joined it in 2020 and had really a lot of fun for a few months, just reading horror and horror news and shit talking. It was a lot of fun for me. It passed some time, but anyways, so just this fear, just one thing after the other after the other. There was coronavirus, there was murder hornets, there was food shortage, there was animals getting coronavirus, there was release of alien UFOs from the Pentagon. I believe there was an asteroid that was also going to hit the Earth. When was that? Maybe April, I think. Plus me listening to all the conspiracies that I think are true, by the way. Um, and so, and then just on and on and on. So much fear, right? No jobs. Money's going to be gone. There's a change shortage. There's not going to be any change. There's not going to be any meat. There's no toilet paper. You can't have any toilet paper. That lasted for about 2 weeks, and I knew it was bullshit. Part of me thinks that this whole, like, not the whole thing, but of course they're never going to let like a tragedy go to waste. So nobody gives a shit about the news. I think last year they probably had the lowest rates they've ever had. Nobody really cares about Hollywood anymore. Nobody really cares about sports that much anymore. And so, they just used this coronavirus and this fear mongering to like get their ratings back up, right? So every day they were like dropping these fear bombs on everybody of what was going on. And it was just like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And everybody just, started treating each other like they were a virus, and that if they came in contact with anybody that they risked immediately dying, right? And that was really tough. I was not afraid of the coronavirus. I'm not saying that I don't think that it's serious that people are dying, but when you look at statistics, um, it certainly, I knew that the numbers weren't correct. I knew the CDC was lying. I knew, just looking in my own area, right? Seeing some of the people that weren't dying, that by all counts should have, because they're like the most susceptible to this. Like, I feel like if my parents didn't die during this coronavirus pandemic, then fucking you got a pretty good chance of living. So just so much fear. And even after that, then racism, right, took over. And then you got all these riots going on. You got race riots going on. You got defund the police going on. You just have all of this hatred. And, the media is showing you this like it's happening in every city, in every town, and every person is falling down dead from coronavirus. Everybody's rioting. Everybody's, it's just chaos. And it's funny because when I turned all that off, I know I live in Juneau, Alaska, which, we're just totally removed from, the majority of the lower 48 states. But still, I feel like, if that was just everywhere global going on, it would also be going on in a small community, and it wasn't. Not even a little bit. There's not been one person that's fallen down dead from coronavirus. There has been tons of people that have OD'd from heroin, and that's been going on for a really long time. But I think that this is, causing like a lot of relapse in people because it is creating so much fear. It's so irresponsible. I don't understand. I don't understand why America or people don't rise up against this. It's like everything's just like softly accepted. It's just, it's just been this one progression after the next, after the next, after the next, and all kind of started, taking, it's been for a really long time that they've been taking our freedom away. But, talk about like, since 9/11 happened, right? Which I'm not going to go get into some 9/11 thing, but we never got any of the freedom back that was taken away from a terrorist attack happening. Look at the ridiculousness of the airport situation. Like, it's been 20 years and it's still just ridiculous. And so I wasn't really afraid of getting sick from the coronavirus. I was afraid of all the freedom that was going to be taken away because of the coronavirus. And I was really disappointed in the fact that, I live in a country that prides itself on freedom and just being independently strong, independently, thinking in in what's right, and abiding by the Constitution, and having that be something that really just rings truth with who we are as a nation. And America got taken down in like 2 days, and all this conformity just was like a domino effect. And I was really more afraid of that than anything that was being pushed into our faces about all of the atrocities that, encompassed, oh geez, the year 2020. So, fear, right? I do this podcast. I started this podcast this year because, it's like, it was just a way for me to kind of get back my power, right? Something that I really want to put my attention into. And so I, made this podcast. I put an ad on Craigslist in Juneau, where I live in Juneau, Alaska, and just asked, for people to come forward if they have like interesting stories, conspiracy theories for sure, but even, spiritual stories, spiritual awakenings, any like paranormal, any supernatural, metaphysical, just, what helps them staying connected to source and how important that is, protecting yourself, empathetic people, just, I mean, you name it. It was this huge kind of umbrella of the things that I'm interested in, the things that I want to talk about, but in a really empowering way, not in this fear mongering, like, base way. And I want to talk about this episode about fear. That's why I'm bringing it up, because fear is like the number one way that people are controlled. When they feel that there is a threat, they go into fight, flight, or freeze. And most people, don't have the support to fight back, right? And most people, it's like, where are you gonna run to? You gonna run to the hills? Maybe all the doomsday preppers can, but most people have to stay in their wheel of functionality that their life is built around, right? So a lot of people feel that fear and freeze in a lot of ways, and then they become like glued to what is going to, alleviate this fear. And so they just keep looking for things of people that are causing the fear in the first place, looking to them, I mean the news, looking to these sources as a way to alleviate this fear, give them some sort of logical understanding of what all of this means, how they're going to help themselves, what's going to keep them safe, and so, everyone's like fucking looking at Pinterest, figuring out how to like turn their bras into a goddamn mask that's supposedly supposed to help them from some deadly virus that's like making people fall down dead, which never even happened in the first place. So to me, I really feel like I wanted to empower people in a way that's not based on fear, that's based on tapping into something and seeing that this, in a lot of ways, is an illusion. And it's a really well orchestrated, in some ways, illusion, just because it's so easy, with all of this technology. People, you program somebody with their telephone, they're already addicted to it. Now you're just feeding them, with the social media, you're feeding them what they want to hear, what they want to read, the opinions that they have, and then you just feed it. And so these people become programmed. And, it's like when I go, not so much anymore. I actually go to the store now, which I usually do. But when all this was kind of happening, like I can't wear a mask and have headphones on. It's too, I already have like mass anxiety, and that just throws me over the top. But anyways, so when you hear like what's being played in grocery stores and then visually seeing what's going on, so you have all these people in masks, you have stickers everywhere telling you to social distance, you have markers on the floor to tell you how much 6 feet really is. And then not only that, over the loudspeaker, they're constantly, telling you 6 feet, social distance, it's responsible, it's the thing to do. And, it's like, I live in a pretty, not rural because it's a city, it's the capital, but everywhere you go, you're like 5 minutes away and you're in the woods, like deep in the woods. Well, now there's signs about COVID, even when you're walking on these trails, encouraging you to wear masks in the most beautiful, clean, fresh air, healthy, non-polluted place, probably in the United States. And you see people walking around with these masks on trails. You see people like biking on their bikes outside with masks on. I see people driving in their cars by themselves with masks on. And it just shows me how much of a control tactic fear is, which, I've known that for a very long time, which is one reason why I don't watch the news. I don't have, cable. I don't subject myself to a lot of television. I'm very selective about what I watch and how much I watch it, because I don't want to be, encompassed with all of this fear because it happens so instantly, right? And it just puts such doubt in your mind and makes you think that maybe I should be worried about this. And, and then it gets you to, it just gaslights you to make you think that you're really stupid for not buying into the fear. And that's really how they do it. And so, I really encourage people, if you want to wear a mask and it makes you feel safe, fine. But really start, turn off your TVs and sit quietly and meditate. Listen to healing music, or, sit and have a conversation with the people in your life that you love. I've know that I've offended certainly my family members, some of my family members, but also, a couple of my really close friends, because I don't buy into all this bullshit. And, I speak my opinion about how I think COVID is just total bullshit, complete bullshit. And that, you know, it doesn't, it's just, there, if you look at it at all critically, you can just totally see that it is a made up fucking, not the virus, but the hype about it, right? And all the fear about it and all the worry. And so, anyways, I've offended a couple of friends of mine because now all of a sudden, I take one of my really good girlfriends, just one of my best friends that I've ever had in my entire life. She listens to this. Sorry if this offends you, but it's not like we're talk very much anymore, anyways. But I've talked to her for the last 15 years, and she just doesn't seem very excited about life. It's like just anytime I call her, she almost brags about her just kind of just monotonous way of existence. Her and her husband don't really talk to each other. They go out to eat. They don't really say anything. They don't really, they don't even have a desire to, right? They spend most of their days apart. Well, now that coronavirus is here, she's sitting there almost shaming me about her fear of losing her husband, and telling me, when I was talking to her about all the bullshit about coronavirus, she, throws it in my face that she doesn't want to lose her husband. And it's like, well, yeah, nobody does. But you could lose him at any time. And you haven't really even seen him maybe for the last 15 years. So it really, it's not that I don't have empathy or sympathy. I have nothing but love for her. I love her so much. But it's like, it's sad to me that it takes a fucking pandemic for you to kind of wake up to your life. But in a lot of ways, maybe that's a great thing. Maybe that's going to be the positive outcome of this is, the people that could wake up are going to wake up. And, if that's something that happens, more power to them. I certainly don't think ill of people, that are truly afraid. I think it's really actually very sad. But at the same time, I totally believe it's just like, yeah, you could lose your loved ones anytime, and that's why you live your life wholeheartedly, with your heart, with passion, with curiosity. It's just like, I think the more we like heal and let go of all of this fear and all of this like super low vibrational energy, the more light we become and the more childlike we become, and life becomes, fun again. And we realize that this is a really interesting, magical place that we live in, and the way that we interact with each other means everything. The way that our connection that we have with ourselves and how we heal ourselves means everything. And it changes the whole frequency of the planet. Like, that's how it works. is you changing that within yourself. So if that, if that's kind of, people are waking up by force with all of this going on, I think that is a beautiful thing. And I certainly am not in any wanting to be in any position or have any desire to judge anybody for how they're coping with this. I think that it's just super, it's criminal, really, of what the media does. It's criminal of how things are handled. It's we boast ourselves on being this evolved species that has all the technology in the world where you can download and like hook your brain up to a goddamn machine that'll shoot you off into outer space and somehow make you a better person. And they cannot even fucking handle a virus that you have a 99% chance of healing from. And to me, that shows that they're using it to control and to put forth all of this new world order bullshit that they've been working on, for infinity. So that's really all I'm saying. A fear. I don't I don't believe, even if you are afraid, I think that you can I think that you can transform that to where you become more educated. If you're afraid, educate yourself, research things. Stop watching the media. Get off of social media. You know, um, just get connected in other ways, because all that fear does is just breed more fear. It keeps you more paralyzed, and all of that keeps you farther and farther away of coming to deep connection with yourself and understanding and healing and being able to help any situation. Adding more fear to already out of control fire in no way helps a situation, right? And the things that are happening internally for people, I my heart goes out to them. I think more people are relapsing, right now, on, drugs and alcohol. I think that suicide is up. I'm sure domestic violence is up. People are getting divorced. People are breaking up. And there's such a part of me that is upset about all of the fear that is being placed upon people. But it is our responsibility to break out of that. It's like they're always going to do that, right? Always. It's just, are you always going to have that control your life? Are you always going to have that be your source of information of how you should navigate your life? That's really your own choice. But, that's one of the reasons why I started this podcast in the first place. As I've told everybody before, it was a way to kind of reclaim my own power and to focus on things that I want to focus on, things that are important to me. And a lot of that is just connecting with people. You know, I want to hear what people have to say, because I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. And I'm not the only one that's going through this. And people feel really lonely right now. People with all this social distancing bullshit, or people not being able to go to work, people feeling like they can't go out and socialize, people feeling like, even if they do, they got to put a mask on or stay away from people. I see people not hugging each other. I see, like, I have friends who their parents won't see them or their grandchildren. It's ridiculous. It, to me, that's so heartbreaking. And it's like, you need to wake up. That's really what it is. You need to wake up. It's your job and it's your responsibility. Don't wait for CNN to tell you to wake up and have some fucked up way of going about it, to where you have to buy some microchip that you put in your fucking brain to wake you up. You know, it's your responsibility. That's what you came here to do, to consciously evolve, to be able to understand that all this shit is an illusion. And there's always going to be pain in the world. But it's how much you focus on that is what is going to create all you living in suffering. It's like, people are trying to avoid all of the danger while living in hell and creating it for themselves and not understanding that they're the only ones that can get themselves out of it. And, there's, it's really a shame, and I'm not coming at this with judgment because I understand that that fear is so real that it is paralyzing to a lot of people. But, at some point you might want to ask, how much of your life do you want to dedicate to being afraid? It's just like, what kind of a life is that? You know, what kind, it just doesn't seem sustainable to be able, or to be able to like grow from that or flourish from that. It's like even if you do make it through COVID, you know, you're going to look back and, have to face how you reacted to this. I had a lady, I'll just share this and then I'll be done for the night with this small little episode. I just want to talk a little bit about fear. And, I don't wear a mask as much as humanly possible. I don't wear it when I'm at work, when I'm bartending. I don't wear it when I go to people's houses and clean. I actually had a lady that wanted to hire me ask me if I would wear one, and I said no, because not out of disrespect, just personal choice. It's I know that it could seem foolish to some people that just why wouldn't you just wear a mask and do the job, but a lot of that is just I'm not gonna buy into that. I'm not gonna do that. But there are some places where that I do go into, not often, but I do. And I do wear a mask because I feel like like when I go to the art supply store, I don't, I don't have to go there, right? I'm choosing to go there so I can get art supplies. And I feel like I have less of an argument to not wear my mask. So whatever, I just put it on and I just fucking wear it. So I went into our art store here at the mall with my daughter and her little friend who are 8 years old. And everything's fine. I'm shopping around. They're looking at like Beanie Boos and all this stuff. And I get all this stuff that I want to get. And I'm standing in line checking out. And they're just like down the aisle, like looking at toys that are like along the checkout that, where all the gum and candy bars are and stuff like that. Well, I notice I'm watching them and they're having a great time with their masks on. And I notice this woman is just like holding up the line and won't move past them. And she's like 3 feet away from them and like clenched up like this. And then she's got, about 6 other people behind her. And the person right behind her is closer to her than my daughter and her little friend. Whatever. I noticed this in an instant and I can read people. I just knew that she was just like going to be super fucking weird. So, I made eye contact with her and like smiled and, she can't see me because I got a stupid mask on my face. And she asked me if those girls were with me. And I said, yeah, they're with me. And she made some snarky remark like, yeah, but they're not really with you. And, I just couldn't help it. I was just like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And then she comes up to the counter and kind of passes them and looks at them like they're viruses, little girls. And, I just straight up told her, I'm like, look, if you feel that unsafe, you're the one that should not be here. It's like, we got our masks on, we're not doing anything wrong. And she starts going off on this spiel about, I don't know if they're contagious, and we don't know if I'm contagious, and we don't even know if she's contagious. And I just said, hey, you're definitely contagious. Just your whole attitude and the shit that you're, spewing out, you are contagious. And anyways, not that that's a great story. I know it's not. I know I'm immature when I respond like that, but just piss me off, If you're looking at little kids like they're viruses, you got a fucking problem. You do. You need to really re-examine what the fuck is wrong with you. And yeah, I know that's going to offend some people, but, so be it. So don't be afraid of everything, If you really want to get scientific, this is science, okay? Fear causes anxiety. Anxiety puts stress on the body. Putting stress on the body lowers your immune system. Lowering your immune system makes you more susceptible to getting sick, right? That makes a lot of sense to me. So, if anything, you would be doing the best thing for yourself to fight COVID from not being afraid of COVID, right? You can be cautious. Sure, if you want to. You can wear a mask if you want to. But going around and spreading fear and acting like we're all viruses, or cutting yourself off from connecting with other people, not seeing your grandchildren, not seeing your children, not going to birthday parties with your family. My mom just informed me that we're not having Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner because my sister and her family won't come over. And, I think I didn't avoid my parents. I didn't go see them because there was when everything shut down, there was 1 week where I think in March when I was like, oh shit, this, I could have been totally wrong and super underreacted. And there could just be, this widespread fucking wave of death coming over Juneau, Alaska, and I was really worried about my parents. And, I talked to him a lot, but I didn't see him. And, I think maybe a week and a half, went by, and I just, I was just like, fuck this. This is absolutely ridiculous. I want to see my parents, if they might get sick and I might never see them again, I want to see them. I want to spend time with them. And, and I've been hanging around my parents since fucking March. I mean, before that, but when they were advising nobody, see each other, and you saw these videos of fucking shower curtain walls to where you can hug your family members being put up. I just bypassed all that and just fuck that. And, I think that that's been healing for me, seeing my loved ones and not cutting myself off. So again, like I said, you do what you feel is right, but really seeing what's going on and seeing for what it is, which is to control people and to keep them in fear, I think can be a really big eye opener. And, once you peek under the lid of that, that lid is just going to blow off, and you're just going to see all the stuff that comes out and how long this has been going on. This is psychological warfare, and they've got it super dialed in, and they're not even good at it. That's the thing. It's like, you've got COVID, you've got murder hornets, you got the Pentagon releasing fucking footage of UFOs. You have, what else do you have? You've got the race wars that are going on. You have an asteroid that's going to hit planet Earth and we're all going to die. You name it. Um, I've just heard so many rumors, and it's just ridiculous, you know. So you want to get healthy? Turn your television off. You know, start watching comedy. You know, watch things that are funny. Watch things that bring you joy. You know, listen to music, read books. You know, go outside, take a walk in nature, play with your dogs, cats. You know, whatever. Just do things that bring joy to you. And so that's it. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to reach out, I would love to hear from you. You can always email me. It is spiritualpathways 13 at gmail.com. You can check out my website, which is spiritualpathways.info. And I look forward to talking and sharing more with you in the future. All right. Bye.